Hi, didn't see you there. So today, we're going to be talking about Filipinos, Filipino-Americans, what they do, what they see. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but let's just go inside. It's looking cold out here.
Hello?
Hello?
What do you want?
What do you mean, let me in?
What's the password?
What do you mean, what's the password? This is my house.
I guess that's what's the password. I can't let you in.
Do you need help?
Hey! What we're talking about today
Yes.
is the Filipino experience generally in the different generations from Filipino natives to Filipino Americans and people who are generally mixed Filipino. So what we're addressing in particular is how the historical and cultural factors affect the different generations and their viewpoints on what it means to be Filipino.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So when we came up with this project, we wanted it to be about the whitewashing of Filipino and Filipino Americans. And we wanted to give sort of look at how Filipinos saw colonization and imperialism under the Spanish and Americans and how it affected us in the present day.
So what we are doing is that we're going to interview those three different demographics, the natives, the mixed Filipinos, and the Filipino Americans, and see how they diverged and how they parallel with each other. Mm-hmm. So we're here to see the generational distinctions so that it brings up this overall theme of what it really means to be Filipino as a whole, rather than setting ourselves apart by different generations, whereas there's a much greater relationship behind different Filipino identities.
We're just gonna ask family and friends.
A Filipino.
Filipino. That's a big time. Yeah.
I think it's 50-50. Like, for me, it's exactly half.
Like maybe 75% Filipino, 15%.
It's probably more 60-40.
More side of a Filipino when it comes to traditions and you know the way of living, food, culture, more Filipino.
I
But
feel like I'm more Filipino because I speak Tagalog. I always go shop at Seafood City, so I keep my culture within me and I celebrate Filipino traditions.
Because I am still very, because I can speak a dialect and because I'm very familiar with the cuisine and the culture, but I also grew up here, so it's definitely down the middle for me.
Mine is mixed.
Mixed?
Because I'm Filipino, I'm married to white, so I have to adjust.
I'm more American. I mean, we don't eat any Filipino food in this house. The only Filipino food I eat is when I go to my grandma's house on her side.
Probably on the American side. I'm more influenced by the Americans. Each generation you lose a little bit.
Just a little
you
bit.
assimilate more into where you live versus where you came from.
The things about Filipinos, when you're raised here, most of the Filipinos, they can adapt more of the American culture, not the Filipino. They forget our culture.
That's one of the misconceptions. Just because you married somebody who's white,
They're proud of.
they become so proud.
That they are white, partly white,
Yeah.
married. They think beauty is white color, fair color, tall noses, things like that. In the Philippines was kind of like Spaniards were there, they were like the Japanese were there. They feel like they're very inferior, so they want to be superior.
No. You have strides, but they're always present as other Asians, and I think that's kind of like a shock, because it's that's trying to say all Asians look alike. And that's trying to be racist with white and blacks, but no, I haven't seen a good Filipino other than the debut. But no, there's not enough for Filipinos in perspective. Most because you're trying TFC, and you only know TFC if you were actually Filipino, or dated or had a friend who was Filipino.
Yeah. I know Pacquiao.
Hollywood? No.
No, not really.
It's like really little representation.
You don't hear anything about it.
Yeah, mostly no, yeah.
No, not much.
Not much.
They don't honor them yet.
Yeah.
It's discriminated.
At least they're media. They're kind of like trying to cover things about our culture and everything, news about Filipinos, and that's a good thing.
Actors and actresses, yeah.
Filipino movies, yes, most of the time. But then with American movies, no.
Not yet accepted, but there's a lot of talent.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to be half-half in order to be recognized. There's a lot of talent like Blue Diamond Phillips.
Roy, ano nga nang katong boxer na mo na may picture ka nga ni na taga diga sa California?
Donaire.
With boxing, they're trying to now, because of sports.
Some.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
But then, do we need to be accepted?
Yeah.
Should we be like them? But then we're here. We live here. But then, I don't know.
A lot of them want to go to Hollywood.
Yung asawa ng isang group yung boy singer sa yun. Anong pangalan nga ni katong nasa TV nga ning Filipino ng agum nga ni si singer. Ito nga dito bang nailingad dyan sa Hawaii 5-0?
Hawaii 5-0. There's Vanessa and Hudgens.
Vanessa Hudgens, yeah, she's
Vanessa Hudgens, half Filipino.
The mayor of Baleo is Filipino.
Yeah.
So, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas. Vanessa Minelo.
Arnel Pineda.
Yeah, Arnel Pineda. Journey,
Yeah, so.
Rob Snyder is Filipino.
Rob Snyder. Oh yeah, Rob Snyder, a Filipino.
Yeah, his mother, yan.
Bruno Mars, Filipino.
Bruno Mars, yeah.
When it comes to media, the movies, there's a lot of Filipino producers or directors, or especially when it comes to the animation thing. There's a lot of Filipinos are involved in that thing. And when it comes to music, there's a lot of good Filipino singers. Rob Snyder is a half Filipino. Dave Bautista is a Filipino, half Filipino. Blue Diamond Phillips.
Manny Pacquiao is well known here.
I think we're being accepted already.
I mean, like, who do we got? Dante Bosco, and he's like, that's all we have, honestly. No, of course not. I mean, we have like that dude from Guardians of the Galaxy, Dave Bautista, but he's half. Like, nobody even knows he's Filipino. We got like Rob Schneider. We have nobody. Yeah, basically. Yeah, we definitely do not have enough representation.
I mean,
Vanessa Manillo, but she's like super whitewashed, to be honest. Oh, Vanessa Hudgens, yeah. We have like a bunch. Yeah, we have a bunch of halves. As far as like media goes, all of the representation in real life is negative.
Oh yeah.
I feel like so. No, super underrepresented. The guy.
What's his name? Something Filipino.
See, it's bad that we don't even know his name.
Yeah.
No, I know the guy that helped Cesar Chavez is Filipino. Yeah, oh, yeah, It Leong. Yeah, that guy.
It's more Asian, but just because I said I'm Filipino, they ask right away, do I eat my own pets? And I say no, but I'll eat your pets.
We look like Chinese sometimes. Yeah, I stereotyping people just because they look alike.
Yeah,
They're the same.
Yeah,
but
They're bad drivers. They're short. They eat dog.
They work in the healthcare industry.
They don't talk English good.
They're postmen.
Usually the job when you go to the US, they're either postman or a nurse. They collect designer shoes, clothes.
And they put tissues in their Louis Vuitton bags.
Reusing the plastic containers.
Yeah. They reuse the styrofoams.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing away, they wash it. They wash the plastic spoons and fork.
Yes. That's where the culture comes in, because a lot of it's been washed out. I think growing up, you'll carry certain tendencies, but it's more Americanized. Perfect examples is like, food will be trying to kind of change. Me being American, I want more somewhat of American things. Coming from Thanksgiving, we have mixed of American food, not really Filipino food.
The way they treat the elders, back in the Philippines, they use the manopo, they hold hands, and then that's how they greet. Over here, they say it's either they say hi or give them a kiss or a hug. But in the Philippines, we are required. I mean, it's a traditional way to give the manopo, holding the hands to the forehead of the elders. Yeah.
We're more conservative
Yeah.
Like everything is permissible for young people.
I can't say because I lived in the Philippines, but I feel like Filipinos now are becoming more aware that they're very disconnected from being a true Filipino. Well, not all Filipinos have darker skin, but it's natural that we have darker skin and flatter noses and not European features. I feel like our generation right now is learning more and it's improving, rather when I was younger and my parents and their generation, I don't think they had a clue that they're very heavily influenced by America and the United States. Yeah, because it's keeping our traditions, and who else is going to continue them if not you?
Okay, this is like long. So the difference between my generation and the generation before me, so I'm half. Like I came here super young, like basically grew up here, but my parents came as immigrants. And I think the biggest difference between us is, so for my parents, like to them, like the priority is to survive. So you like work, you hustle super, super hard just to survive. But for like my generation, there is sense of like passion and there's like dreams. Like there are things that we want to do because we like them, but for our parents, they never really understood that. There's like a big gap. Like they don't understand that. So for example, like my whole life I wanted to be a chef. But to my immigrant parents, that's not okay because of course they came here, sacrificed everything for a better life for us. And if I were going to tell you like, hey, I want to be a chef, they were straight up like, no, that's not going to make any money. That's the stupidest thing. That's like art. That's not going to work out. But the reality is for my generation, we do have dreams and like we do have goals that are not necessarily just to like survive. Priorities shift just because we grew up in a place where we weren't necessarily lacking. We were given the opportunity to want more, even if wanting more wasn't in line with the things that our parents would consider successful.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
a lot.
big difference now.
Well, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's
Because we're born in the 60s, right?
That's normal.
Yeah. And you are born now, the millennials are technology, everything.
Yeah.
Before we don't even have cell phones.
You're right.
Just like in the Philippines, when I was young, I remember that, the girls, you're not supposed to be courted outside. You should go out in the house and then talk to the family, the parents, things like that. Depends on the parents too. Some parents, as I said, they're like, they prefer more to be Americanized than at least get some of the part of our culture. I don't know if they're embarrassed of that or they're like, that they are Filipinos, but some Filipinos are like that.
Because in the old days, they serenade them, they do some hard work in the house, chop some wood.
They ask permission to court the girls.
Yeah. They have to be inside the house, not outside, like anywhere.
Yeah. So visit in the house.
You have to ask permission.
Yes. But then with Dandy, she asked me, Mom, can I have a boyfriend now? I said, no, not yet. When you turn 18, so you have a partner in your cotillion.
Absolutely. I say you don't know where you're going unless you know where you're from.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It is very important.
Yeah.
So you will know where you came from. I mean,
As a Filipino,
Yeah, as a Filipino, you have to know where your roots are. For example, like when you go to the Philippines, you know how to deal with people who are living there.
Yes, because that's your culture. That's your culture, and they don't teach it in American history, so it's important to do your own research. And even in the Philippines, I knew more about American history coming to America than about my culture. And we never learned about Larry Itliong, who fought alongside with Cesar Chavez, so I never learned that. And if you never learn about it, it's just going to get lost and not talked about. And Filipinos are already invisible minorities.
Yes, because for my children, like I'm already at 50, so for my children it'll be 25, so for their children it'll be like 12 and a half. I think it's important to keep passing it on so it never disappears, like whether it be language or food or like tradition, like it could be anything as long as you just pass it on, like stories. I think if you keep passing it on, like it'll stay alive.
Maybe if they're gonna live in the Philippines, they should know. I mean, here we're in the States, so
it's hard enough getting our own history.
Oh yeah, like us, we have to take the citizenship, so we have to learn the histories.
It would if I did, but I don't. So
yes, because our culture is good. like respecting elders, family ties. We take care of our own children, things like that. The elderly, when they get older, we seldom send them to the nursing home.
Yeah, they need to know that even though the kids who grew up here, they need to know their culture, so that when they go home, they know what to do, so they know how to deal with other Filipinos.
Good things should be passed on from one generation to another. Yeah. Those are things that Filipinos are proud of.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we covered that throughout the.
I don't know. From my perspective, it's about introducing new culture, new styles. If you take someone completely from like out of nowhere, like Idaho, bring them into a house, bless your relatives, take off your shoes, pray before you eat, that might be completely a different shock.
Maybe if they're gonna live in the Philippines, they should know. I mean, here we're in the States, so
it's hard enough getting our own history.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like us, we have to take the citizenship, so we have to learn the histories.
It would if I did, but I don't.
I actually wanted to move away from the Philippines because bullying there is like way worse than in America. I feel like it's normal for for Filipinos to, I don't know, I feel like they don't love themselves, so they try to hurt others to make themselves feel better. That's my experience, but other people have like good experiences and they want to go back to the Philippines because they hate it here. But my experience is that a lot of Filipinos hate being Filipino.
First, I didn't want to be here because, I miss my friends. But when I first came here, no friends, no job, no car, no money.
So you were lost.
So I was bored. Yeah, I was wearing slippers in the cold.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, when I first came here, I went to the store in San Francisco and I saw this black girl. I don't know if you want it. And I looked, I was just like, looked her from head to toe. And she got mad at me. It's like she's going to beat me up. I said, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like that? I said, I'm not used to it. I was in the Payless shoe store.
Payless?
Yeah.
Dark people in the Philippines. But what, they're 3 feet tall?
No.
Last name and language. There's religion, beliefs, and I also think how you perceive yourself. Like you want to be, I guess, from the old school stereotype, you want to be light-skinned, fair-skinned, not dark. That also affects like people's point of views, and that's kind of sucks because it's not about how color your skin is what you do. So.
In music, before I don't like hip hop, now I like hip hop. Electro.
Language, food,
We've been
religion.
colonized for 300 years, but
religion.
few learn how to speak Spanish. But for food, to get more food and the way they live, the way of living. When they call after lunch, they call it siesta, right?
Yeah.
Then you sleep after the nap thing. That's from the
tradition.
That's from a Hispanic way.
More religious.
Yeah.
But for American, I don't see that much though. The only thing we got is the form of government. Because back in the days when I was young, we always picture that Americans always be the good guys all the time.
Yeah.
And the bad guys are Japanese Americans. They're the savior. So we figure, that's how we pictured Americans are the savior.
Well, what I learned and what I noticed is that we all Filipinos want lighter skin, of course. European features, like your noses. Filipinos have monolids or like hooded eyelids. Like a lot of facial features and like beauty standards, especially on Filipino women. Also, if you speak a different dialect in the Philippines, they make fun of it because it's getting farther away from having the American accent. So
the names. See, I'm Susan. What's her name? Tapos ang clothes, clothing, and then Spaniards were in the Philippines for a long time.
Some words are influenced, like la mesa. That's a Spanish word, and then it becomes Tagalog. It's like close.
Pero kung hindi umalis ng mga Hapon sa atin or mga Americans, sikat sana tayo. Ang
kinukuha ni Emilio Ganado na gawing American yung Philippines, but di pumayag si
Si Manuel Quezon ang president na ng Philippine Republic siya. Ang unang presidente na nakahiwalay na.
Yan.
Ayaw nila sa Amerika eh.
Sana hindi tayo nagpapacitizen ngayon.
Eksakto.
Yes, I can understand it. Speak it, not so much.
Like I could speak a different dialect. It's Bicol, but I understand 75% Tagalog. Yes. I think it's important for Filipino Americans because I think a language is really important to like keep you in touch with your roots. Like the more the generations like pass, the less the language stays. So I think in order to like keep in touch with it, you should at least be familiar with it.
I can't, but I've been trying to learn recently. I could pick out things that people are saying, but not like full sentences.
Well, I speak fully.
Zero. My mom didn't even swear at me in Tagalog.
I think so. Especially now, it's diverse. No Filipino channel, so it's all English, like Barney, Arthur, Sesame Street.
Arthur.
Absolutely. 99% of the time I'm mistaken as Hispanic. And then every time, because I'm in sales and I'm involved with people with sales, I get looked at dirty because I don't know how to speak Spanish. You have no idea how many times people will say, hola, mijo, ¿cómo estás? Hablo español, and I say no, and they ask, are you sure? Or they give me dirty looks.
Did you check?
Yeah.
I think because we're so like mixed with other Asian, we are often not recognized as Filipino. Like everybody thinks I'm Korean or Japanese or Hawaiian. Like nobody ever thinks I'm Filipino until I say my name, because my name is super Filipino.
Physical appearance in the Philippines, there's kind of like melting pot also like the California.
Yeah.
There's Asians, there's Chinese, Japanese, everything. So they kind of like we're in the Philippines. That's why our features are kind of like, sometimes they say, oh, she's Asian, oh, she's Spanish, oh, she's mestiza. Yeah, things like that. Not just pure Filipinos. Pure Filipinos are like, the Aborigines. And they're all the same too, right? Even in Australia, even in America, there's like small brown people. Yeah, things like that. It's hard to distinguish, but then Filipinos are kind of like brown colored.
We look like Chinese sometimes.
But then most Americans, whenever they see Filipinos, say, oh, you're Filipino, huh? Like, because sometimes they think it's Mexicans or something. Maybe because we work in the hospital, they assume that we're Filipinos. That's why I'm not sure.
No. There are certain foods that I love. That's American: pizza, burgers. You give me Filipino foods, I will eat most of it. Some of it I'll push away after finding out what they were. But yeah. I've had it once. Mom told me it was a custard chocolate bird, and I found out what it was. Not anymore. But I will eat sinigang, kare-kare, Bicol Express if she makes it not too spicy. Otherwise I'll die. But yeah. See, I don't know. It's different for me because, like, growing up watching American TV, I thought that was natural. Like, you're supposed to have those kind of friends, and then you have the clash of like Filipino culture. A perfect example is like Christmas time, and you watch it in the media, you watch it in Friends. They're like, "Oh, it's Christmas on the 25th in the morning," but I always did it the midnight of, realizing that was like a Filipino thing or some Asian culture thing. And then you add in the presence of Santa when your parents wrapped it up, but I don't know. It's a different clash. It's especially unique for me, I guess. So
I think most of the people that being whitewashed are the one like were born in the Philippines and then they get married to a white husband or why?
When they're not, like if we're both Filipinos, we have the stronger attachment to our own culture.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
It's just if you're married to a white American, you eat what they eat now, and then you forgot to go to your home country. You don't want to go home anymore because you have to go along with the family.
You can look at it the other side, which is assimilation.
Yeah, assimilating, adapting to another culture.
Well, it's true because you're here. You have to do the American way, but whatever happens, you don't forget where you came from. I mean, even though
a lot of
you change.
Filipinos are guilty of that. Like, they
Yeah.
pretend they're not Filipinos. They're ashamed of their color.
Yeah.
To some, yeah,
they're
but
trying hard not to be Filipino.
On the media, that's the way it is. Like,
Yeah,
you look at like India, same
Yeah.
thing. They're not super light over there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say that. They're just as dark as Filipinos.
Yes.
So,
because
but
I guess it's
on the media, they look like American white people.
It applies to all, like,
It's everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, because I know I do have white tendencies. For the most part, I am American because I was born and raised here. I know I have Filipino tendencies as well, like blessing and trying to show respect. Stuff I didn't know I did naturally, like feeding people. But definitely 50-50.
I don't know, that's hard because no, I don't like pumpkin spice lattes and I don't like Uggs, you know, like things like that. But like I can't speak my language at the drop of a hat. That in and of itself is whitewashing because that means one language is more advanced and developed than the other, even though I do consider myself bilingual. With food, like I will always choose Filipino food over American food. I never like wanted to be white, but growing up I hated my name because I never found my name on like pencils and keychains and things like that. So that is also like a sense of whitewashing, to wish that like my name was something more American and more like would fit in.
I feel like I was never like,
I don't know.
really 100% Filipino to begin with.
Well, yeah, you also grew up here.
Yeah.
So.
Grandma raised us, but she raised us American.
I don't know, because like everything's always washed down. Like it comes from, I think, from your parents. So the whole blessed thing came from my mom, but I didn't know why or the purpose of it. My grandparents were the one who explained it. Like also taking off your shoes in the house.
Yeah.
That's definitely different. None of my white friends do it. I don't think I'm genuine. I say if I had to give a percent, probably like 30.
Yes, because a white person would never consider a whitewashed Filipino white. Like no matter what, you're brown.
Yeah.
So you're definitely Filipino. I value
To be Filipino to me?
Yeah.
Let's see. Just like what is American to you. Them, they're free. Me,
I think it's accepting who I am.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a good one.
Filipinos.
Mhm.
That you cannot take that away from me no matter what. If like you're born here. You cannot take anything off from you. You still am and will be. Forever.
me, what I believe. As a Filipino, I'm a Filipino, so I'll be Filipino.
Okay.
I'm proud to be a Filipino.
What I do right now is because I'm Filipino.
Yeah.
I dress like this because I'm Filipino.
I would say food. Its uniqueness, it's definitely different. To some people, it sounds disgusting, like when you eat, like, you know, sweetened meat with vinegar, but I think it's the best thing in the world. But yeah, food. I think food, because you could always bring food to the table and create a new experience there.
I wonder if there's an influence because your wife is a chef.
No, not at all. I always thought it was food because of Andrew Zimmern, watching his shows.
Oh.
He always said food was a way to connect, and I think that's true.
Yeah.
That's really hard, just because like a lot of the things that are Filipino are also like from other cultures. Like I could say I value Filipino food, but our food is like Malaysian, Spanish, Chinese influence. So is that really ours? I value tradition and culture and things. I value everything that everyone before me did just to get me here. I will always be thankful for the things my parents did just to bring me here to like be able to do what I do.
I just say it's the family.
No, it's the family thing, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, there's a couple things in the family culture thing. That one, we tend to stick together as a family.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It's
So-
always like really close.
The family gatherings are generally big, right? You see
Yeah.
all- everybody. And two, there's a school thing. There is a different emphasis on different culture.
Yeah.
Typically, the Asians or Filipinos fall in there as they push their kids
To school.
to kind of be better than the parents. You don't see the Latin Americans doing that. I mean, there's the other side of it too. It's like the bad food and the karaoke and all that stuff.
That's number one.
Comes with
I guess it's
territory,
like,
man.
you know,
I don't enjoy Filipino food
So-
all that much.
Yeah, that's what you said. They stick together. You know, family comes first. They go to church. They, and you know they make sure the kids finish the school.
It's another Asian thing.
Yeah.
The roles flip when the
Yeah.
parents get old.
They want
Kids
you to
usually
take care of them when they
parents.
old.
Oh yeah, That's
It's
that
not.
too.
So there's a certain
They don't stick them in a home and say, "Good
That's
luck
one thing
again, my friend. Since you kicked me out at 18, I'm going to throw you in a home when
Yeah.
you're old."
Oh yeah, that's how it goes.
Is that
yeah.
American?
That's an American thing. Yeah.
Filipinos are generally resilient
Oh, okay.
because, like, way back home, you know, we have undergone a lot of hardship in life.
Living in American way, it's better. Yeah, the life is way better here compared back in the Philippines. You get more opportunities here compared back at home. Yeah, generally Filipinos are, you know, they are happy people, proud of their color, you know,
Okay.
yeah, skin color. You're lovable people. Our food is spectacular.
Like I said, like resilient, a trait, Filipino trait. Also, the still on the more on the conservative view.
I'm handsome. No.
The features. It's like
Megan, you got it? You got it, Megan? You got it. Make sure don't delete that.
it's proud that Filipinos have, like, you know, features, good features. Generally.
Oh, so it's still going.
Oh, that means, are you guys good?
You guys good? We were just making sure that you guys
Whatever.
answered thoroughly.
Oh yeah, unless there's more.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's good. Wow. We have some
Chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets.
Have you ever seen them or have you ever used them before?
No, that was the other guy.
Oh. Wait, that's Anthony Bourdain.
Dang.
Well, anyway, that's a great way to end it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I didn't mean to say that.
Didn't he die? Okay. We're supposed to do it at the same time, but okay. Conclusion time.
So what we found out was that there a general dominant theme of how whitewashing affects different generations in terms of cultural and historical factors was less of a explicit theme throughout the interviews.
Maybe it was just us and how we like asked the questions and what questions we asked, but it seems like whitewashing wasn't much of a concern with the people that we asked, at least. For the most part, unlike for like dad's side of the family with Auntie Onion and them, they didn't even know what the word whitewashing meant.
Are we bringing Kat? Who? Oh yeah.
We should put him in the credits. Wait, do you want to...
Sweet dog.
For me, I'm proud to be a Filipino.
They say greener pasture.
Greener pasture.
They said balik-bayan boxes. Balik-bayan boxes. Balik-bayan boxes.
Yeah, because it didn't seem like anyone was really excited about it. But like, I feel like that was just because we're at a pub.
It's all about setting and whether or not to prepare.
Are they doing karaoke?
Yeah.
Of course we're doing karaoke. Oh, bro, they're doing karaoke. Get some shots. Well, you don't sing to Call of Duty?